Right, not the best of nights. I'm not sure how things are going to turn out this evening, but I got no choice. I got to get back into the NGC El Quattro's NGC Tour series and tour the NGC catalog in sequence as much as possible. And tonight we got high thin clouds. We got almost a gibbous moon. It's going to be terrible views in the scope tonight, but we're going to do it anyway. It is 6:12 p.m. Sunset was at 5:01 this evening. We're not quite in the sky dark. It's the 28th of January, a Wednesday night of 2026. Our premier view of the evening. I'm hoping it'll turn up because the moon and Rigel turned up right in the middle of the screen. Our premier view of the evening is NGC 1514. It is a planetary nebula in Taurus. Let's see if we can't bring it out. I'll give you the data, and then we're going to push on to the NGC 1350 to 1399 series. What I'm hoping we're going to see here, and we're not seeing it thus far, and it could be because of high thin clouds, is planetary nebula NGC 1514 in Taurus, magnitude 10.8, 120 by 90 arcseconds, so about the size of the Ring Nebula. It's magnitude 9.5 central star, so it's got a pretty bright central star. We're at right ascension 4 hours, 9 minutes, 16 seconds with a declination of plus 30, 46, 33. Because I'm not seeing it in the field, I am going to have to check to see if we have a good scope alignment, but Rigel was right in the center of the field. Okay, here's Zarak right in the center of the field. And that's where that planetary nebula should have turned up. Let's move on. Okay, we've gone a little deep here. We're going down outside my parameters, frankly, just to get a look. NGC 1350 is a galaxy in Fornax, magnitude 10.3, 5.4 by 2.9 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, and lowercase ab, 84 million light years distant, RA3, 3108, but here's the kicker. Declination minus 33, 57, 42. Despite the poor views, we have to push on. The scope is getting close to an equatorial flip. This is NGC 1352. Skipped a couple that were too far south. Galaxy Eridanus, magnitude 13.3, 1 by 0.7 arc minutes. It is a spiral, lenticular spiral with a bar. We'll go up to 50x views right now. Right ascension 3, 31, 32. Declination minus 19, 16, 41. Okay, it's only at 150x that we begin to suspect the presence of galaxies. Remember, this one's a 13.3, but it's pretty far south, almost minus 20 degrees. NGC 1353 is a galaxy in Eridanus, a little further south, a little fainter, magnitude 11.4. I do believe we're seeing it right there. 3.4 by 1.4 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase b, 68 million light years distant, means it's probably about 60,000 light years diameter. RA 33203 minus 204906. A little further north, but not much, for NGC 1354, galaxy in Eridanus. Magnitude 14, hinted at, I believe. 2.3 by 0.8 arc minutes. We're looking for something edgy. And I think we're seeing it right in this region here. It's a spiral with a lowercase a, so you should have a fairly bright core. 78 million light years distant, means 50,000 light years diameter, roughly. RA 33229 with a declination of minus 15, 13, 18. NGC 1355 is a galaxy in Eridanus. Magnitude 13.3, 1.5 by 0.4, should be edgy. Lenticular spiral, 174 million light years distant, maybe 65,000 light years in diameter. I think we can make it out. RA 33323 with a declination of minus 459, 56. Off to NGC 1357. It's a galaxy once again in Eridanus, right in the middle of the field, magnitude 11.5. 3.1 by 2 arc minutes, spiral lowercase ab, and an angularity. Let's see if we can make out the frontier at 150x. Not likely, but I can see the extensions. RA is 333.17 with a declination of minus 1339.51. NGC 1358, another galaxy in the river. Magnitude 12.1, 2.5 by 2.1 arc minutes. You can see the core there. Spiral with a bar and a lenticular lowercase a, so quite apparent core. 179 million light years distant, puts this at about 120,000 light years in diameter. RA 333.39 with a declination of minus 505.22. NGC 1359, another galaxy going down the river. Fainter though, appears. It's magnitude 12.2, 2.5 by 1.5 arc minutes, spiral with a bar and a lowercase perturbed. 90 million light years distant, maybe 70,000 light years in diameter, RA 333.47, with a southerly declination of minus 1929.30. Let's see if we can get some kind of definitive view. No telling, frankly. Maybe the high thin clouds have thickened. Okay, what we're looking for here is a planetary nebula. I'm going to assume it's going to be somewhere in the middle of the field. There's something very vague suggested right there. It's in Fornax, magnitude 9.4, 360 by 270 arc seconds, which is something like 6 by 4, so it's going to be fairly diffuse. It's got a magnitude 11.3 central star, 1,100 light years distant. RA is 333.14 with a declination of minus 2552.19, a little closer than the Ring Nebula in Lyra, but we're not getting any kind of view that I can tell. Okay, a little bit of our stellar field here. NGC 1361. It's a galaxy in Eridanus. I think we can make it out there. It's magnitude 14.1. 1.6 by 1.4 arc minutes. Right ascension 334.17 with a declination of minus 615.53. Let's push the magnification a bit just to see what we can see. NGC 1361. Add 1 to 61, you get 62. NGC 1362, a galaxy in Eridanus. Magnitude 12.5, but pretty far south. Lenticular spiral, 53 million light years distant. Can't be much more than 25,000 light years in diameter. Right ascension is 333.53. Declination minus 2016.56. If it's there anywhere, it's in this region here. NGC 1363, galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 13.9. I think we can vaguely make it out there, despite the near gibbous moon and high thin clouds. This one is 0.9 by 0.7 arc minutes, but 428 million light years distant. It's actually quite large, maybe 140,000 light years in diameter. RA 334.49 with a declination of minus 950.33. Pushing up the magnification, there is NGC 1363. Okay, not likely to see this sweetie. NGC 1364 is a galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 16.1. Spiral lowercase c, so it's probably about 15.5 magnitude, 0.5 by 0.5 arc minutes, 422 million light years distant, puts it at about 75,000 light years in diameter. RA is 334.59 with a declination of minus 950.20. Should be in the same field with NGC 1363. NGC 1367 is a galaxy in Fornax, the furnace. And once again, I repeat, I would love having one out here, but it would really disturb the optical quality, as though the clouds and the moon haven't already done that. This is also NGC 1371. It's magnitude 10.7. Very nice. 5.9 by 3.8 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase a. RA 335.01 with a declination of minus 24.55.59. There is our 150x view and backing back out. Let's have that look. at 75x, which usually gives the finest aesthetic. NGC 1368, another galaxy in Eridanus. Magnitude 15.7 by 0.4, probably magnitude 14.3 or so. 14.2, spiral of the lowercase a, 420 million light years distant, means it's probably about 110,000 light years in diameter. RA 33458, declination minus 15, 39, 21. That's it, I hope. NGC 1370, another galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 12.4. 1.5 by 1 arc-minute elliptical, 47 million light years distant. This one's pretty small, maybe 20,000 light years in diameter. It's right ascension 3, 35, 14 with a declination of minus 20, 22, 24, backing out, and then bailing. NGC 1372, galaxy Eridanus, magnitude 14.7, 0.5 by 0.5. We are in a dispersion zone of a power line elliptical, 412 million light years distant, maybe 75,000 light years in diameter. RA 33659 with a declination of minus 1552, 54. And that's it. There ain't no more on NGC 1372. Skipping a few in Deep South Fornax, we're now on to NGC 1376, galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 12.1, vaguely seen in the center of the screen. 2.1 by 1.9 arc-minute, spiral with a lowercase c, 185 million light years distant. RA 33706 with a declination of minus 50236. And if we take the magnification up, we get a more obvious, although quite dispersed, view. We are now 12 minutes in, have turned the corner a couple back. We're now on NGC 1377, galaxy Eridanus, magnitude 12.4, 1.8 by 0.9 arc-minute, lenticular spiral, 80 million light years distant, maybe 50,000 light years in diameter. RA 33639, declination minus 20, 5404, and magnitude 12.4 at minus 20 degrees ain't showing us much, if anything at all. Maybe a vague outline of a 2-to-1 aspect ratio, lenticular spiral right about there. NGC 1383, yeah, the clouds do seem to be thickening, if not on the plot as well. Magnitude 12.5, 1.9 by 0.8, spiral with a bar of the lenticular class, 84 million light years distant, maybe 70,000 light years in diameter. We're seeing hints of it, but that's about it. RA 33739, declination minus 1820, 22. Did a quick look-see for NGC 1384, galaxy in Taurus, which I imaged earlier under better conditions, both sky-wise and lunacy-wise. Magnitude 14.4.9 by 0.5 arc-minute, spiral with lowercase c, 439 million light years distant. RA 33913, declination plus 15, 4909. We are not getting any aperture block at this point, but we are getting lots of light absorption and reflection from high-thin clouds and a near gibbous moon. What we should be seeing here is a galaxy in Taurus. That's NGC 1384, magnitude 14.4. There seem to be several faint galaxies in this field. It's 0.9 by 0.5 arc-minute, spiral with a lowercase c, so look for something without much of a core luminosity. It's 0.9 by 0.5, so roughly a 2-to-1 aspect ratio to it. This is our 150x view. There are numerous galaxies here. I do not think there's going to be another one as low as in the 1380s, so this is probably our galaxy here, 1384, and the rest of these are probably ICs or fainter galaxies. Let's move on. Well, at least we're getting a few stars for NGC 1385. We've gone south again to a galaxy in Fornax, magnitude 10.9. Ooh, wow. 3.6 by 2.2 arc minutes, spiral with a bar lowercase c, 65 million light years distant, probably 75,000 light years diameter, RA 33728, declination minus 243007. Sorry, folks, we're going to go through with this tonight because I need to move on to the NGC 1400 to 1449 series next night out, and it has to be soon. All right, folks, if it continues like this, we're going to have to bail. NGC 1388 is a galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 14.3, 0.7 by 0.7 arc minute, elliptical, 194 million light years distant, probably 70,000 light years in diameter, RA 33812, with a declination of minus 1553.59. I will have to tell you, this is only going to get worse because there are clouds rolling in off the Pacific, and it is just going to make things tougher and tougher. I can go through the next 11 galaxies and we can just capture the data, but that's going to be about it. I'm going to have to move on. And we're so far into this now, let's do it. I'm sorry. I'll warn you at the beginning of this video. NGC 1389, another galaxy in Eridanus. Oh, wow, it's in Eridanus minus 35 degrees. Well, I'll give you the data. Magnitude 11.5 if you're further south, 2.5 by 1.5 arc minute, elliptical class 4, 42 million light years distant, probably 25,000 light years diameter, RA 33711, declination minus 3544.42, and you are seeing diffraction off low trees in the distance, or perhaps my own fruit trees in the backyard. NGC 1390 is a galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 13.7, 1.4 by 0.6 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase a, 54 million light years distant, maybe 30,000 light years in diameter. Maybe seeing a flecking of it right there, but who could tell? Spiral with a bar, lowercase a, right ascension 33752, declination minus 19 degrees and 29 seconds. NGC 1391, we got a few stars in the field. Anyway, it's a galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 13.3, 1.2 by 0.5 arc minutes, kind of a tilty. Spiral with a bar, lenticular class, 190 million light years distant, maybe 70,000 light years in diameter. RA 338.53, declination minus 1821.14. And I think we're vaguely seeing it right about there. We got a few stars. NGC 1393, galaxy in Eridanus. Magnitude 12, 2 by 1.2 arc minute size, spiral with a bar of the lenticular class. You know, it's really good that I got good focus tonight and we're getting excellent centering. 95 million light years distant, RA 338.38, declination minus 1825.40. NGC 1394, galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 12.8, 1.3 by 0.4 arc minutes, 3-to-1 aspect ratio, lenticular spiral. 187 million light years distant, maybe 75,000 light years in diameter. We're vaguely seeing it, RA 339.06, with a declination of minus 1817.33. Unconfirmable, but we are seeing some things right in through here that are suggestive of nebulosity. NGC 1395, galaxy Eridanus, bright, magnitude 9.6. And I think we are seeing the core. 5.6 by 4.6 arc minutes. Yes, indeed. We can confirm that. Elliptical class 3, 77 million light years distant, puts it about the 100,000 light years in diameter. RA 338.29 with a declination of minus 23 degrees, 1 minute and 38 seconds. NGC 1397 with all kinds of vagueness. due to clouds in this case. Galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 14.5, 1.7 by 1.3 spiral with a bar, lenticular A class, almost but not quite a fully mature spiral galaxy. And it has an annularity. 246 million light years distant puts this in about 110,000 light years in diameter. RA 339.47 with a declination of -4, 40, 13. And pushing it up just to see if we can make it out. There's vagueness here, there, and perhaps a little bit everywhere. For those who have stuck with me, I'd like to say thank you. We're now almost 20 minutes in. This is the briefest video I've done so far. Let's watch this one develop. It's a galaxy in Fornax, bright, magnitude 9.7, large, 7.2 by 5.2 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase ab, 61 million light years distant, probably 110,000 light years in diameter. RA is 338.52 with a declination of -26, 2014. Now, I don't think the scope would be pole flipping soon. It's getting pretty close to being level and looking due south in culmination. And after a bit past that, the scope would want to flip, which is why I had to rush through this series this evening. It's now 6:52, because I really need to stay up with the NGC series in sequence as much as possible. Now, why is that? Well, we may not get particularly good views, but we will get views under a variety of conditions, which will be very helpful for us to understand what we might be able to see. One of the conclusions we can draw from this is you might have noticed most of the galaxies that are in the NGC catalog that are down in the -25 to -30, -35 degrees southerly declination range are all galaxies that were discovered with telescopes probably not as far north as I am, almost 45 degrees north declination, but somewhere in the 35 to 45. Now, I think Paris is about the same declination. I'm not sure. So Messier was kind of limited looking deep south, but many other observers in England and elsewhere were limited deep south. The only scope that had a fairly good view, and that was from Malta and the Mediterranean. And so as a result, most of the discoveries were of the very brightest galaxies. And there are probably numerous galaxies of 15th and 16th magnitude that photographic or 14th, 15th visual that might have been discovered had the eyepiece observers of the 1800s, 19th century been further north. So, that's just a simple observation I made over time. We've now had 14 stacks with 11 ignored of NGC 1398. We have one more in the series. Let me see if I can tell you what it is. It's 1399, but it's a galaxy in Fornax. Now notice the magnitude, 9.6, and the size, 6.6 by 6.1 arc minutes, elliptical class 1 with perturbations in it, 65 million light years distant. Well, if you multiply 65 by 6.6, you get something around 400,000, and that probably puts it, for me, about 120,000 light years in diameter. But that's for the next galaxy, not this one, and we are not going to go that deep south. So with this view, we have concluded the 1350 to 1399 series. Terrible views. I might want to go back to 1514 at planetary to see if we can turn it up. The skies are thickening and thinning, and maybe with some luck we will get a view of it. But anyway, it'll be on that study, NGC 1514, that I will say what I'm about to say. As you might notice down here, the number of stars is not enough, 0 stars. So therefore it can't do a stab, and therefore it is bailed. So we are not going to get any view of NGC 1514, that planetary nebula in Taurus, that we originally attempted to image. And at this point now, looking over my left shoulder, I'm not even seeing Jupiter up there. So we ought to be happy we managed to get through this series with occasional views of the cores of the brighter galaxies, despite the sky, which is now stacking up thickly with clouds, The moon, of course, has got a nice bright halo around it. And with that, I am going to say, carpe noctem.